What you doing, Otaku? I'm the AC. I'm going to talk about the newest season of Seven Deadly Sins, the Imperial Wrath of the Gods. Yeah, it originally started airing in Japan back in October 2019, but it finally came to Netflix here on August 6, 2020. Now, there's a lot I could say about it. There's 24 episodes, and a lot happens. Well, I don't feel like there's a lot I need to say about it. I'm mainly just going to go over the points that mainly interested me, caught my attention, I thought was significant, or just cared about somewhat. So, there is, of course, going to be a lot of spoilerly stuff in here, so if you have not watched this season yet, or the show in general, go ahead and watch it. Now, let me just go ahead and start talking about it. First off, this season can pretty much be split into 3 parts, 8 episodes each. The first one is the tale of Gunther, Gother. I keep saying Gother, and it doesn't matter. Tale of more Gother. The second one is like a near pointless fighting on the road. And then third part is more like, oh, Meliodas is on the bad side. Now, this is not my most favorite season so far. You could say it's my least favorite, because it is. I don't know what it was about it. My favorite is the beginning. Tale of Gunther. I keep saying Tale of more Gunther. It probably isn't supposed to be like this, but this is how I interpreted it. So, what happens in these first 8 episodes is pretty much King and Diane go back in time through Gloxinia's and Droll's memories. And they put some kind of spell on them that sends them back in time, way back when the First Holy War was happening, so they can see that. Ultimately, what this ends up doing is just leading to revealing that there was a true Gother that was locked away, who was part of the 10 Commandments. It's all about releasing him, and then finally showing that the Gother we know is a doll that was created by him. It's like, and the doll was made in the image of Gother's lover, Gloriza, but made Gother's doll a male, so he wasn't loved after it. Which I feel like, if that was a worry, don't make a doll out of your lover. Anyways, it's a little creepy, but the important part is, apparently Gother is the one that stopped this First Holy War. He gave Gother the doll, his own freedom and will, and sent him off to do whatever for the next however long. And we finally get to see what that is. But I don't know why, I just really like Gother's character. I like his development, and kind of the lack thereof. It's not even really development. He kind of like devolved, but from where we first see him in like the suit of armor to just not remembering anything to finally finding out who and what he is. I really liked it, and this first part was my favorite. At first I was just like, this is all backstory. I just want to get on with the regular story. Turns out, the thing that makes this show interesting is the backstory, and the fact that all these characters, and there's so many characters, have this past. What I come to realize is the past is a lot more interesting than what is going on in the actual story now. Because the rest from here on out, I wasn't that crazy about. So, the second part, more pointless fighting in a row. The biggest thing that comes from this is Meliodas reveals more of his past, since he's thousands of years old, that him and Elizabeth, who was revealed as an angel or a goddess, they were cursed by the Demon King and the Supreme Deity, respectively. Meliodas won't die, but Elizabeth will die over and over again, and losing her memories, and die over and over again. And every time she remembers her memories, she will die 3 days later. Weird specific curse, but yeah. And it reveals this, tragic backstory of Meliodas living with all these different Elizabeths, having to watch her die and trying to figure out how to break this curse, and he just can't really do it. And it's this that drives the rest of the season and their motives. But for these next 8 episodes, all that pretty much happens is they fight Melescula, bad at names still. They fight Moleskula, finally beat her. Turns out she's a little snake. But then Meliodas goes all demon racy. His personality switches back. And him and Escanor end up having a fight. Escanor is eventually able to bring him down when he's fully powered by noon. But it shows that Escanor can potentially be stronger than Meliodas. The downside is that seems to be the max to Escanor's power, so we already kind of see the most he can do. But this ends up exhausting both of them. They have to recover, which sucks because next they have to fight another demon named Chandler, who was Meliodas' mentor. And nothing good comes from this at all. They don't beat him, even though they think he did. He just keeps getting stronger as the fight goes on. He's even able to block out the sun so Escanor can't fight. But not only that, Gloxinia and Droll show up to try to help and give them a chance to escape. They just wind up getting slaughtered right away. Yeah, Chandler catches right back up to him, and Meliodas wakes back up and goes back with Chandler. And that's it. That's all for that part. So this last part, Meliodas is on the bad side. It's okay. I felt like this could have been really cool, except for they felt like they tried to cram so much into this last bit, only for it to still not really resolve anything. So Meliodas joins back with his brothers, decides he's going to take back all 10 commandments so that he can use that power to finally break the curse. And he says he's doing it all for Elizabeth. Okay, sure. Elizabeth decides she's not going to help Meliodas. She's going to fight against him to try to help him in an ironic way. Okay. And then there's just other bits. There's a lot of really important bits that got crammed in so much that I kind of just didn't care. Like, Arthur finally gets Excalibur, but then dies. Hey. But Cat is a monster. I want to see more of Cat and what he can do. Merlin was apparently blessed by both the Demon King and Supreme Deity. You would think she would be super awesome and amazing. Maybe she's just been holding back this whole time. I don't know, it seems kind of... Like, I think Merlin's a cool character, but she's been put in some pretty lame situations where it didn't really make her look good. Whatever. Bond goes to Purgatory because Hawk is apparently a portal. That seems really cool. Except for we don't see anything from them again for the rest of the season. I'm sure that'll pick up next season. And then, to end off the season, Esterosa gets in this big fight just to reveal more of his past about how he used to be, like, really non-violent. And he wouldn't hurt, he didn't really want to fight. And then a commandment got put in him that just kind of twisted him, and okay. Then the season kind of just stops. And this is why I'm disappointed, because I was disappointed when the last season just seemed to stop without finishing, but I understood. This one just builds up to what should have been a climax, but the way it just ends and it's going to have to continue, I feel like there was a bunch of questions that was just asked right at the end with no time to really marinate or really do anything. But yeah, the 7 deadly sins are also teaming up with the 4 archangels. I don't really like the archangels. I don't really think they like the archangels. I don't think anyone really does, except for the other goddess race. But yeah, this last bit, they try to put so much in it when they could have done a better job of spacing it out through the seasons. It seemed like there was this very intentional divide into 3 parts. And I feel like the fights were also just dragged out, which is typical shonen. I get it. Let's move on this long fight shonen trope. And they're not like crazy long, but they could have been shortened. Let's be real. Then you would have more time to actually expand on this current story, as well as all this backstory. And like I said, the backstory of all these characters is a lot cooler than what's going on now. I don't know. When there's a lot of flashback in shows, it kind of just doesn't interest me that much. I feel like, oh, if you're using this much flashback, maybe all this flashback should have been its own thing. But who knows? It's not bad. There's just a lot. And I don't know when this lot is actually going to be resolved. I thought this Ten Commandment stuff would be finished in this season. It's not, so it's going to keep going. Okay. And it's not like another typical show where it's streaming each episode each week. You have to wait for a Netflix because that's how streaming services license stuff. Whatever. I don't know. I could just keep complaining and ranting about stuff, but that's all I'm going to say about this season. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with whatever I have to say? Disagree if you want. I don't care. Do what you do. I do what I do. But if you like hearing me talk and rant a bit about 7 Daily Sins, go ahead and like the video. If you want to see me talk more about anime and whatnot, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. You can see when I do all that. But until next time, I'm the AC. Thank you for watching and bye.